Welcome back to the No Clue Podcast, episode 144. We are back. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Mike.
I'm Tyler. Welcome back. 144.
The season has come to an end.
Yes, the shortened season, but it seemed pretty long actually to me, at least. Seems like
very eventful last couple of days too.
Yeah, and maybe it seems long because there's so many games on at the same time. So
yeah, it was condensed. That was probably why.
Yep. All right. Where are we starting? We already did the teams that were getting eliminated. I don't think any other team surprised us. Did we talk about the Bulls last time?
No, because we both had a pretty good idea that they would get in, I thought.
Yeah, I thought they had a good chance. They just couldn't pull out the wins, and the other teams weren't losing. So
yeah, and I'll say I don't really have too much of a deep dive because they looked good to end the year, but it was a small sample size,
right?
And they still lost. They lost the number of games that they should have won, especially late in the year.
Yep.
But my thing is, man, I could see them making a big leap, similar to what Phoenix did next season.
I agree. 1 year under a new coach, so then they'll have the summer under Billy.
Yeah,
Billy could probably get some free agents. Do a little bit of recruiting for the team. They got a lot of young guys that are maturing. Yes. 1 year with Vucevic and
LaVine is only getting better.
Yeah, he is. And he's becoming more of a playmaker. Kobe White is getting better and better. Yeah, they look good. And they, only Thaddeus Young is like the only one they're worried about as far as aging. Everyone else is pretty much in their prime.
Yeah. They have a lot of talent that seems to just work together. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a very difficult process to put it together.
Yep. All right.
But let's stick with the East.
Start with the East?
Yeah, since we're there.
Okay, Boston versus Indiana for the...
It's not DC? No, it's not DC playing Boston?
DC. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. DC and Boston. Yeah.
DC and Boston playing 7 and 8.
DC
impressed me getting the 8th seed, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Because I watched that yesterday Charlotte game, and for 3 quarters I was ripping my hair out.
Yeah.
And in the 4th quarter, they finally took it seriously, and they just kind of showed how not ready Charlotte could be. And Charlotte also missed some good opportunities to win the game, but DC battled on both ends in the 4th quarter. So that was nice to see for me as a DC guy. And honestly, I think we have a good chance of beating Boston.
I do too. Boston has a hard time with effort. They have a hard time with defense. They have a hard time with consistency. I mean, they could lose to anybody. That's their biggest issue.
And DC has gotten much better, especially late in the year, getting in the paint. They've just gotten better at getting more drives, getting more inside opportunities. And Boston has just been bad at defending that.
Yeah.
And of course, Jaylen Brown being gone.
Yeah. The way Boston plays, it's tough for them with injuries because I don't know. I know
it's such a drop off.
It's a drop off, but I don't know if they'll play any different. That's the thing. Jaylen Brown missing, obviously you're missing the second or first best player on your team, but they don't nothing is going to change. Just someone's just going to be there where he was and just miss the shots that he might have made. So it's not like it's and that's just how they play. That's kind of weird. They don't look like they're missing someone. You just notice that they're just not as good as they were last time. That's how they seem when they miss people.
Their play style is very similar regardless of who's out there. The problem I have And like on paper, DC just should have this. But watching them
on paper, but go ahead.
Watching them all, especially the last month, how both teams have been playing.
Yeah.
I would give DC a good edge.
Okay.
But because it's not a series, so I can't really like deep dive each team's flaws because it's one game.
Yeah.
And if there's anybody that knows how to lose one game, it's the Washington Wizards.
And it'll probably be at the buzzer. But the thing is, the two most consistent players in this game are both on DC. Like Westbrook is gonna give you whatever he gives you, 20, 10, 8 or 10, and
a lot of questionable shots, but yeah,
and 5 turnovers. So then and Beal's gonna get you 30, 28, at least 28. That's his average. So at least 28. So what does Boston have that's consistent? I don't know what. There's games where Tatum will just shoot like garbage.
Exactly. That's what I don't know. Like with Boston,
is
so unpredictable.
Yeah, there's games where Kemba can't score at all. There's games where Smart takes 30 shots. So I don't know what they bring, but there's more games where they're inconsistent than when they're on fire. So
yeah,
I would take the thing is I would look at it the opposite. I would take Boston on paper because they have better depth. They have more experience, but I would take DC because they just have effort that comes every night. The effort is there every night. Yeah. Gafford gives you the same thing every single night. Tristan Thompson does not.
It's interesting because DC, and I don't know how much of it is Scott Brooks. I don't know if it's Russ or Beal, but they've been getting a lot from their bench.
Mm-hmm. They have recently. Yeah.
Yeah. And like Ish Smith has been giving them a lot. Robin Lopez has been giving them a lot of production.
And they're obviously very experienced.
Right. And that's the thing. DC plays guys that we know what they're going to be getting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what Tristan Thompson, what kind of opportunities he's going to get for Boston.
But I don't know how you say this and not think Brad Stevens has to go. That's coaching. Scott Brooks, his whole coaching career, the guys on his team did the same thing every single night. I mean, the whole time. Even OKC, Reggie Jackson was great coming off the bench. He was just attacking. He would just attack the backup point guard no matter who he was. Ibaka gave you blocks, rebounds, and bad shot threes. Perkins just hacked, tough rebounds, maybe a nice block, tough screens every night. And then insert other people. Kevin Martin came. He did the same thing. Cephalosha did the same thing. But Brad can't get anyone on the team to do the same thing every night. Not one player.
But the way their play style is so different because the problem with Scott Brooks in the playoffs is Cephalosha. I need a drive or two tonight, and he can't give me that.
Coming.
That wasn't going to happen.
The last 82 games, it wasn't coming in game 83.
but Evan Fournier comes into Boston, and he's already one of their premier playmakers.
Yeah, but it's every other night.
And the thing is, he encourages like everybody that comes out there to be a playmaker.
But you can't play pickup basketball in the playoffs. That's how they look like they're playing pickup. Like whoever gets the rebound just brings it up. Like everyone's down court. This is like a pickup game.
I see what you mean. I'm going to be watching. I see what you're saying, but that formula has worked for them because of the talent they've had.
I know. But they lose to less talented teams. I mean, Toronto almost got them out of here last playoffs.
Yeah. I think a big part of that is just their defense slipping.
Yeah, but there's people who don't have that good of defense that can outscore. Their team's good enough they could outscore anybody, in my opinion. They have enough guys who can get 20, 25 that they could outscore everybody.
They outscored enough to get the 7th seed because they didn't guard all year to me.
Yeah, but the 7th seed, you made it to the Eastern Conference Finals 4 years in a row now, 3 years in a row. And now you're at the 7th seed. Jaylen Brown just got hurt, so it's not like they were missing Jaylen Brown all year.
I mean, they had guys in and out, and like it's weird because Tatum's had the weird stuff with COVID.
Yeah.
But he's been like playing incredible some nights.
And after he plays incredible, he comes out and says, I still don't feel good at all.
Right. So it's weird. Like, I don't know. He could he could drop 60 tomorrow for all I know.
No, let's not get crazy.
But the thing is, DC's defense is bad enough to let that happen.
Yeah, but if he drops 60 and no one else scores, you guys still beat him. Because Westbrook and Beal together will have 60.
But you have to see sometimes when the Wizards get into a struggle and like the scoring, just good shots aren't coming.
Yeah.
Beal and Westbrook just consume the offense. They don't just like take over or just take control of the game like Donovan Mitchell or maybe even Jason Tatum or hell, every other superstar except Kawhi Leonard.
And the thing that's tough and
consume it.
This is where Westbrook has changed over the years, and in a negative way, in my opinion. I guess you can look at it two ways, but Westbrook used to be an all-around impact guy when he was hot. Now it's just strictly offense. Like Westbrook used to have clutch steals, used to have a clutch fast break out of nowhere, and now you don't see that as much. Like he does it every once in a while, but it's not like he doesn't have that momentum playing like he used to.
Yeah,
he used to be a big time momentum player.
You know who's a guy I see doing? Yeah, a guy that does that now is Ben Simmons.
Oh yeah.
On the defensive end, I think they play very obviously. Simmons is bigger, but that energy of like obviously you get beat because you gamble for certain things. But you get those like big time steals late in the game or at like a critical run point in the game.
Yeah, you know, and even though it wasn't that impressive, but to me, it's one of the best plays ever, especially alley-oops. The one against Sacramento when Durant threw it up to Westbrook with the one hand.
Oh yeah.
They were only on like a 6-0 run when that happened, and it just like Sacramento wanted to quit the game after that. That was like one of those like you throw the controller at the screen, even though it's a close game. So it's like
I'll give you a crazier one he had in the playoffs. It wasn't a lob, but you remember he took it from I think some guard on the Lakers, and Derek Fisher had to foul, and he just like threw up some like fluke shit from the free throw line.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that he used to do all the time.
Yeah, I don't see that at all anymore. I don't see him get pumped up by the momentum anymore. And
only his baskets pump him up now.
Right, only his. He used to do that on assists too. He used to remember the fake one he threw to Steven Adams. I think.
Oh yeah.
Remember you were saying that you thought that was one of his best assists ever?
Yeah, the little sham god.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and now that's not there. So we'll see who Tatum is. That guy though. Like you said, Tatum is a momentum guy. Tatum will get a clutch block. He'll block a jump shot, take it down court, get a dunk. Yeah. And like all of a sudden his heat meter is all the way up. Now he's gonna hit everything. So we'll see. I don't know.
Kemba and Tatum could be the two best players, or they could be awful.
Yeah,
and it's just such a mystery.
Ish Smith on Kemba is a good matchup for me. I like that matchup because he'll chase Kemba around. Obviously,
this is the second year in a row he's been great.
He's a great role player. He is. Yeah, and he's so experienced. Like he's played for plenty of teams. He's played in a lot of big moments. He's been starter. He's been a bench warmer. He's been 6-man. He's done it all.
Yeah, and one thing for a guy who pushes the tempo as much as he does, he doesn't turn the ball over a lot.
No, he doesn't. No,
so he's a good decision maker. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Pacers and Hornets. Who you got?
This is another one, man. I don't know.
The Pacers have played like complete garbage the last 3 weeks. Like they've been letting teams score 150 points like every
You're
game.
understating it, yeah.
And I don't understand. Actually, I'm gonna pull it up and see what the points. So last game, they let the Raptors score 125. They scored 125. They let the Raptors score 113. Let the Lakers score 122. Let the Bucks score 142. The week before that, let the Wizards score 133. They beat the Hawks 133 to 126. Let the Wizards score 154. Let the Thunder score 152. Nets 130. Trailblazers 133. Hawks 130 again. Jazz 120. Like, they let these teams get a lot of points.
I told you this months ago. I was like, what are they doing getting in shootouts?
Yeah, they let the Timberwolves score 137 on them. The worst team in the league.
I told you, like, last, and I haven't watched them this last month. Mm-hmm. But again, from these scores, you could tell it's the same play style that they had all year. These back and forth, like up and down battles where they try to keep up with teams that are so much more talented than them.
Well, this is where Karis LeVert, to me, this is what I was worried about with Karis LeVert, because that's kind of his game. And the Nets were good enough that because he didn't handle the ball that much, that they didn't have to worry about it as much with him there. But him stepping into the Pacers role as like a go-to guy, in a sense, a go-to guy, not the go-to guy, but a go-to guy. He's one of those guys that if the other team scores, he'll try to come back and score in like the first 4 seconds of the shot clock, like immediately. Like, he'll try to take advantage of them before they get back on defense. Like, he's pulling a 3 before his man even gets to half court.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, obviously, he can't be responsible for 150 points from the other team. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying when a scorer like that takes the team in that direction, sometimes they continue that habit, you know? Like, he may do that for the whole first quarter. He comes out the game and the team kind of stays with that sometimes. Certain teams, less disciplined teams. Miles Turner's out. He's their dominant shot blocker.
If Miles Turner's out, they're gonna lose.
Yeah, he's done for the season, right? He broke his hand.
Yeah. But they're, again, like, I would point to that and be like, oh, I see why they're giving up so many points. But it's been all year.
I know.
All year. And where I don't understand is this team has always been a good defensive team.
Yeah.
You've only improved your offensive, like, capabilities.
Yeah.
You know, LeVert maybe is a downgrade at the wing as far as just individual defender, but Brogdon's still there. Sabonis is still there. Turner was like, the core was the same.
Yeah.
And TJ Warren, I wasn't looking for him to get stops.
And McConnell's still there. He's still
right. Holiday, a lot of their guys are still there.
Where's Corey Joseph playing at now? Is he there still
in Sacramento?
Oh, Sacramento.
I want to say he's still in Sacramento, but I don't know that. Halliburton just like snatched his role there.
Yeah.
But with the Pacers, I just don't understand how this all around awful shot selection came to be.
I'm telling you, man, LeVert, that's his game. He's the.
But this was going on before. I thought LeVert would fix it.
No.
It's still from the highlights I'm seeing, it's guys. Justin Holiday thinks he can put up anything. Like, that's not the case.
Remember we were talking about Duncan Robinson off air the other day?
Yeah.
Holiday was really high on the 3-point attempts list. I didn't say anything about it, but I was like, what is he doing? Like,
exactly
sixth in the league in 3-point attempts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Dude, he should be getting layups, steals, and he's chucking, like, he's like 6'8".
Yeah, he is.
Crazy long. He's out there as like a defender. Okay, we know you could shoot the ball.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean put up everything.
Mm-hmm. He goes for it.
Right. And it's just all around, like, Brogdon is put in a bad spot to have to like be all around great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind. I like Brogdon. I've, praised him countless times. I like how under control he is.
Yeah.
But I also know how limited he is.
Right.
And it's Sabonis has emerged, but you're like forcing him to emerge even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, he's a great rebounder, great post scorer. He's a good defender. Why are you forcing him to be your playmaker?
Yeah. I don't get it.
It's just, I don't know, man. They're coaching, of all the teams that changed coaches, and a number of teams made mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana just looks, from a coaching perspective, the worst.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And as far as Charlotte goes, I mean, they play pickup. Speaking of teams that play pickup,
we're in the Showtime Hornets era, in my opinion. They're Showtime, man.
They are.
I mean, everything they do is spectacular. Everything.
Dude, they had countless like last second like in your eye shots in the Wizards game. It was ridiculous.
They have spectacular players. Like everyone on the team is a spectacular guy. Like Terry Rozier is going to give you a highlight every night. Bridges is going to give you a highlight every night. LaMelo's giving you a highlight every single night. And when Malik Monk's playing, he's going to give you a highlight. Yeah. He's going to, put a three in your eye or put you on a poster.
I'm just so impressed with how they find a balance for all those guys.
And that's why I'm picking them over the Pacers, because if you give them a chance to get 150 points, they have 6 guys that'll get 18, 20. And if you let them do it, they will.
Yeah.
So,
and their guards are very they're underrated high IQ.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Like Graham is a very underrated point guard type of playmaker. Obviously, LaMelo is a good point guard. And Rozier, he's had huge scoring games, but he moves the ball surprisingly.
He does. He picks and chooses when when it's his time. But if you show weakness, he's attacking all night. If you don't get it right the first time, he'll attack again and again and again. And the Martin brothers, I mean, they've been playing well off the bench.
Who gave them really good minutes in the DC game that I forget who's been there forever? Cody Zeller.
I saw he was going bald now. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. Like, wow, we're really getting old.
But I forget, he's, really athletic.
Yeah, he is.
And he does a good job of just being a screen guy out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he fights for rebounds too.
Right. And they just they have a really good chemistry that I was shocked to see.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they have a good chance. I think they have a really good chance of winning both games, honestly.
I do too. Yeah. I'd like to see Terry play against Boston again. I think that would be interesting. And they rested. I mean, they've been resting Hayward, right?
I don't know. Playing? He didn't play in the DC game, but honestly, man, they didn't look like they needed him.
They probably don't. But I mean, the way he started out the season, he may help.
Yeah, I think if they're gonna compete in the first round, assuming they get there, they're gonna need Hayward to stabilize what they do, because they are messy. Just watching the one game, very inexperienced at times, hard to keep the consistency, but that's expected from a team like that.
Yeah. Do they have Jaden McDaniel? Is that his name?
Yeah.
He's been playing well too. He catches a lot of lobs. He gets some nice blocks.
Good hustle guy, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I guess that's all I really have to say about the East.
So my prediction is DC will get the 7th seed. Here we go, Brooklyn. And then I would say Charlotte will beat Boston in the second game.
I think it's going to be hard for Charlotte to win 2 games in a row. But yeah, if I'm going with my heart, I'm picking Charlotte for both games. But I think
I'm going to be sick if Indiana wins both games. I really am.
Indiana's not winning both games. No way.
It's gonna blow my fucking mind.
Boston's not losing to Indiana. They may lose to Charlotte because
yeah.
Charlotte is spectacular, and that's how Boston usually loses, by other teams being spectacular. But they're not losing to Indiana. No way.
Yeah.
But if I was gonna bet, I'd pick Boston to get the 8th seed to come back and win the second game.
Boston is experienced, so I wouldn't be surprised if they played better than you would expect.
Yeah. All right, let's go light first in the West. Spurs and Grizzlies. What do you think?
Oh, real quick, Pelicans should fire Stan Van Gundy.
1 year?
Yeah. Yeah. I know they won't.
I don't think so.
I know they won't. No, I know they won't because of that logic. But sometimes you just watch a team just don't take well to a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pelicans were one of those teams. So
I'm not mad at it.
We'll come back to this a year or two later.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you that the Pelicans screwed up by not getting rid of Stan earlier.
I just don't think they should have hired Stan in the first place. But
in hindsight, yes, I should have thought about that in hindsight.
But I don't think I'm not sure if someone could have done a much better job with them. Not much. And that's the thing.
I think a number of coaches. Tom Thibodeau would have had this team not even playing in the play-in.
Oh, but you're talking about like
greatness. Yeah.
You're talking about the coach of the year this year. So like,
yeah, you're right. Dude, Mike Malone would have this team in the play-in.
Oh no.
Okay, all right. Agree to disagree. And I don't even like Mike Malone like that.
He barely has his team in the playoffs sometimes. Sometimes, not this year.
All right this year.
Yeah. They kicked it up. Yeah. Memphis and
Spurs,
San Antonio.
Though. Yes.
You got Memphis?
My heart says San Antonio. My heart, like everything, just I love all their guards. How they play they're built to compete whoever they play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And DeRozan in this matchup is the hypothetical best player.
He's the best player, yeah.
But Memphis is another one of these teams that just like they just defend really well all of a sudden. They
do. They work hard. All their guys work
so hard. And guys like you saw Dylan Brooks against Steph Curry. I know everybody was praising Steph for, locking up the scoring title.
Yeah. But
Dylan Brooks was doing a good job on him.
He was. Dylan Brooks said he's the best defender in the league.
I mean that was a good example. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm just saying no one argues with him. I mean, he's doing well. He's doing his thing. He says it because he locks up.
Right. And Memphis is just as a team just plays so well together. Again, another team that's been together for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows.
Yeah.
So I'm still going to stick with San Antonio. I'm going to stick with my heart.
Mm-hmm.
But Memphis is just one of those teams that could surprise you.
Murray and Ja is a good matchup. I like that. I mean, I think it's gonna be fun to watch for a game.
Yeah.
I think
Jaren Jackson. I think Jaren Jackson should give Memphis a slight edge.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Valanciunas is gonna have a field day. I think he's the one to me that's gonna be. If Memphis wins, it'll be because of him. But I'm going with San Antonio too. I think their guards, the balance they have, and Memphis does not have as many guards to defend all those guys. Like after the first two on Memphis, I'm taking Patty Mills over DeAnthony Melton. Sorry, I'm taking Lonnie Walker over Grayson Allen all day, every day. Who's next?
Again, on paper, I'm with you completely.
Yeah.
But sometimes they get production. Memphis gets production out of those guys.
They do. It's gonna be how they defend Ja, because if Ja gets into the paint, all bets are off. Because someone's gonna be open.
He's gonna make some shots.
He is.
He's gonna make some shots. It's crazy because this last couple months, if you've noticed Memphis games, they're playing him like Rondo out there.
Yeah.
And he's not. I really don't like the kinds of shots he settles for.
No, he does not take good shots. He's not a good decision maker, period, in my opinion. He's electrifying.
I think I don't mind his decision making, how he like finds guys. I think his own shot selection is very it's too confident.
It is.
And I think that's gonna kind of determine to me whether they could even compete with San Antonio.
There's sometimes I think he plays and he looks to make a highlight. And that's not really how it should work. It works for him sometimes because he's an athletic freak, but he shouldn't be looking for the highlight ESPN top 10 pass, looking for the highlight shot, because he looks like he tries to embarrass somebody on every shot instead of just taking a good shot.
Yeah.
Like he has to hit it in someone's face. He has to give them behind the back, step back, and lose them, and point to them while they're on the ground to get the shot off. And he's not doing that on San Antonio. You can forget about that.
No, Popovich. I think Popovich will really let other guys eat just to take him out of the game.
Oh, and Derek White. I'm picking White over every guard that Memphis has.
Hey, you had me at Patty Mills, bro. That's all you needed to say, honestly.
Yeah,
Patty Mills could single-handedly win this game. Like that's the crazy thing about San Antonio. They got 4 or 5 guards that could single-handedly take the game over.
They do.
Yeah. Just doing what they like they're good at.
Yep. But the thing is, man, they have no center on the team.
I'm sorry, Jakob Poeltl. You're not it, bro.
No, you're not it, man. I had an argument on Instagram with a dude a couple months ago about whether Jakob Poeltl was the worst.
What's the argument?
I said he was the worst starting center in the league, and the dude's like, "Don't say that." I'm like, "Well, tell me, name this worst starting center in the league." I'll wait. He couldn't come up with anything, so he's bad, man. He's terrible.
He's like, it's just frustrating how basic he is, honestly. I don't even know how else to explain his game.
Popovich has coached, 2 of the top big men of all times, right? I mean, I'll throw LaMarcus Aldridge in there. I mean, he's one of the, he's top 40, but
yeah.
For him to put what's his name? Kendall? No.
Johnson?
Yeah. For him to put Johnson at the 4 tells me he has a problem.
I think it's
down
Kenyon.
low.
I'm not sure though.
Yeah, we know it's Johnson. For him to put Johnson at the 4 tells me he knows he has a problem in the front court, because I've never seen him put a guard at power forward to start the game, and he starts him there a lot.
Yeah, and he's big, so they like finesse it a lot of the time, especially because they sneak in Rudy Gay to go small to kind of have a little mismatch out there. But a lot of it is just covering for a limited roster. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's OD, because he was like a point guard at Kentucky, so it's like, he knows he has an issue. And Trey Lyles can't get anything consistent out of him.
I don't see much from him.
What's the Drew Eubanks? Nothing out of him.
Not it.
What happened to Nando De Colo? He never panned out. They thought he was.
Wasn't he a guard?
Yeah, but he was like a 6'6" guard. He was a big guard.
Oh yeah, I don't know why they got rid of him so quick.
Yeah, it didn't give him a shot, but
yeah.
Anyway, the big game.
The big one, yes.
LeBron said he's playing against the MVP of the league.
Again, the Jokic disrespect.
Steph's the MVP, man. He really is.
Stop. It's not the MVP. I get it. They're awful. They're in the play-in. Like it's a great story.
He's the scoring champ. Don't forget that.
So when does that make an MVP?
Beal was a scoring champ and they were worst team in the NBA. Steph is a scoring champ and they battle to be, what are they, 8th seed? I mean, I don't know, man. If we're talking about most valuable, Warriors are complete garbage without Steph. Complete. Nuggets are still making the playoffs without Jokic. If they had Murray. Not without Murray. If they had Murray, they'd still make the playoffs.
But my thing is their entire play style on both ends depends on Jokic.
The Warriors play style isn't all about Steph.
They play the same way. I mean, obviously, Steph has become again, Steve Kerr took a month to figure out that, Steph Curry might be the best point guard in the league. I should just feed him.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, he's been great. I'm not saying he's like not even in the conversation.
Yeah,
but
I know. I'm just playing.
They didn't want to give it to Russ for being the 5th seed.
When he averaged a triple-double?
When he had the triple-double, and you think they were anything without Russell Westbrook?
Who was on the team?
Oladipo.
Oh, the Oladipo year? Yeah.
Yeah. Come on. There was Anthony Morrow was getting like major minutes.
Who won MVP that year? Steph?
Russ.
Oh. But they did give it to him.
But that's what I'm saying. They didn't want to. And to me, this is like, this team could have easily not made the playoffs.
The Warriors?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. But Steph had to average 40 and have more threes than any month in history for them to make it. Heroics.
It was heroics.
But
Damian Lillard doesn't get, again, Damian Lillard hasn't quite had these type of heroics.
Mm-hmm.
But he gets like no credit for the similar heroics.
If he had to, he probably could. It's like Damian is one of those guys, and because he doesn't really care about the things, he just does what he has to. Right. So if he had to average 40, he probably would go out there and go for it. He'd shoot from anywhere, obviously, just like Steph. But anyway, that's not the point. Who you got? Warriors or Lakers?
Lakers. I've stuck with the Lakers all year.
Point differential?
I think it's gonna be a blowout before the 4th quarter.
I do too.
I don't care if LeBron's out there on one leg.
Yeah, they're gonna massacre the Warriors.
Oh, dude. It's just, especially against watching the Warriors against the Lakers, it looks awful. I mean,
the Warriors win in the second game though. I don't care who plays in it. I think the Warriors win in the second game. But first game, LA is taking it. I don't think LA is gonna goof off. I think, like you said,
they better not. They better not, because I'm gonna doubt everything I've said about them all year if they goof off in this first game.
I'll say this. I think because LeBron and AD and now Drummond, I think the Lakers, and I don't really understand why, but and this is a lot of LeBron's teams, they can have the best defense in the league any given night. Like LeBron, they don't, but for some reason, like when they turn it on, they can like strap anybody. And I think part of it is because they like send 2 people at people and then they're like, oh, well, okay, drive on Anthony Davis, go for it.
Right.
So, or, drive on Drummond, go for it. So like, I get that that's their backup, and that works when you have a good center. Like Brooklyn did that too last year. But what they did to Damian and CJ last year, they've done it to Steph before. They just chase him around and just say, KCP, look, man, I hope you got your wind up. You could take some oxygen, take your inhaler before the game, because you're chasing Steph all night.
Yes.
And he does it. Ben McLemore, he'll chase Steph all night and just say, look, man, you may not score, but I know what you are doing. You're chasing Steph and Caruso too. And they're cool with it. It's because they have so many players that they don't need to do anything. Like, not a lot of teams have that. Like, you look at most of the teams, like designated defenders, they have to do something on offense. Marcus Smart has to do something on offense. Ben Simmons has to do something on offense. Who's another guy? I mean, Draymond has to do stuff on offense. Draymond can't just play defense and disappear. Patrick Beverly has to do something on offense. But KCP, Caruso, we don't need you on offense. We can still score 120 points without them even touching the ball. So, yeah, I'll go with LA as well.
It's crazy. Their defensive versatility is just so wild.
It is.
And what they do, especially this year, something I saw from them, they trap guards better than anybody in the league.
They do. Yeah.
And again, a lot of that is because they have a perfect blend of, like you said, guards that are just willing to work hard.
Yeah.
And bigs, like real bigs that cover ground, that are active, and even with Gasol, who's not as active, he makes up for it by having a high IQ, so he knows where to be.
Yep. And then they trap him and say, okay, we'll throw a long pass with the best safety in the league, right. LeBron. He's gone. It's over. Yeah. So,
and I just think, again, Steph will have to just go insane for them to win this game. And he's been insane all year.
Yeah, I was gonna say so. I mean,
I feel like it's almost more than what he's done,
but not more than he's capable of. That's the problem. Steph, I don't think there's a cap to the amount of points Steph can score on a game. Like, that's
fair.
He can score basically because, I mean, Kerr took him out of the game third quarter. He had 60. Yeah. So it's like he could have had 90 easily. So
he's gonna have to reach for 90 if they want to beat the Lakers.
But I will say this: the Warriors have shown over the last probably 2 weeks that they have other guys that can, get buckets. Not that they're gonna not one-on-one buckets, but Wiggins can give you 25. Poole just had 30 the other night. That may be it, but it makes teams have to be a little bit honest. Not the Lakers, but most teams will have to be a little bit honest guarding them now.
Well, they're not playing most teams. They're playing the Lakers.
I know, yeah.
And Wiggins, this is a big game. Honestly, man, I want to see what Wiggins brings to the table.
Oubre can get 20 too.
Yeah, but my thing is, like, I need to see Wiggins' desire to want to, like, upset the Lakers. Like, dude, you should be the second option. Can you please attack like your second option? Please. The easiest 38 I've seen all year. And we got it one time?
Wiggins, like, on paper, if you took, like, Wiggins highlights and watched it, you would say, well, that guy's unstoppable. No one can stop him going to the basket. He can dunk on anybody, and he can shoot threes. He can catch and shoot. He can shoot off the dribble. He has pretty nice range. He's long. He can post anybody up, anyone his size. And he is a really good post game for, a guard. But
it's just highlights. He doesn't play with effort.
No, he doesn't.
That's my thing. And that surprises me, like, with Kerr, with how the Warriors have been. The fact that they've kind of accepted him and, like, encouraged him while he's slacking.
Yeah.
I understand, you're not going to say shit to Anthony Davis, especially when LeBron's doing the same shit.
Right.
But Andrew Wiggins, like, need him.
He takes a weird thing. It's kind of weird to spark him up. Takes something different to spark him up. Because sometimes when he is like that, he's a monster.
Yeah, but it's so, like, it doesn't even seem like it's anything. It's just like he made a couple tough shots and he feels good. So he's like feeling himself that day.
Right.
But
Oubre is always looking to embarrass somebody. So
yeah, but I don't think Oubre is going to be playing. I think
he's hurt still.
Yeah, they're still. I think they're going to reevaluate him in like a week or two.
I know he was in and out. He was playing some nights and sitting some nights.
Yeah.
Well, so that's our plan preview. You want to talk about the matchups too, because we won't get to before the games. A little bit about them. Just quick. We can run through them quick.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lakers Suns should be an interesting series.
Not those matchups. We don't even know that's gonna happen. I mean, the matchups that are already there.
Oh, the matchups that are set. All right, we can talk about those.
You want to go back to the East or stay in the West?
Let's stay in the West.
Clippers, Mavs. Is that right? Yeah. Clippers, Mavs.
I'm looking at 7 games. Maybe I think it's gonna be another 6. I'm gonna be fair. I think it's gonna be another 6-game series.
I'm gonna go Clippers in 5. I don't think they're gonna goof off with the Mavericks this time. They got embarrassed. I mean, they won, but they got embarrassed in my opinion last year. Completely embarrassed.
Yes, I agree.
I would be surprised if they do that again. That's all.
But my problem is they didn't get embarrassed because like they just didn't bring their A game. They got embarrassed because they got exposed.
I think they would do anything to not get exposed this time. That's all. I don't know if Beverly is still sitting for this time of the year still. His, yearly sit down.
Better off sitting as far as I'm concerned.
Rondo hates Rick Carlisle. Is Ibaka coming back? I don't know.
They've been fine without him though, surprisingly.
Yeah, they got Boogie, so
right.
Yeah, I'm going with the Clippers in 5.
One credit I'll give Dallas is they, from last year to this year, they've trusted their role players a little bit more. And I think in the second half of the year, I think that has shown quite a bit, actually.
Yeah, but will they, in the playoffs? A lot of teams can do it in the regular season.
The way they play, they kind of have to.
Maybe, yeah, I guess so. I've seen games where Luka just said, "Forget it, I got this," and that works.
I've also seen games with Tim Hardaway Jr. the last month or two, who's like stepped it up and given you, a lot of threes or just attacking constantly.
Yeah, I know. I agree. We'll see if they keep moving the ball. So that'll be their biggest question mark for me. Will they keep moving the ball? I'm not sure. Probably. So, so you got 6 games. Clippers winning or Dallas?
Clippers winning in 6 games.
Okay, that's fair. All right. Portland and Denver. Again, this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've seen this.
Denver's going to beat them.
How many games?
6.
Denver in 6.
Stotts is going to be fired within the week after that 6th game.
That is that's fair, in my opinion. I'm not mad at that. I don't know. It's tough for me to call. It's one of those, mind and heart things. I think I would go with Portland in 6. I'll go with Portland in 6.
I see. I'm not mad at anybody picking Portland. Obviously, this series could go either way, depending on, who plays well, who doesn't.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I trust what the Nuggets could do against the Blazers more than what the Blazers could do against the Nuggets.
I think that not having Murray is going to be glaring. I think that the scoring from the guard, I think they're going to be missing that. I mean, Murray's level of scoring from the guard. I mean, they're going to have some scoring, but I think they're going to miss his 25, keeping Damian and CJ on their toes for the whole night. I think, because who starts a guard for them right now?
Monte Morris for Denver.
Yeah, Damian's resting on defense.
Austin Rivers has been playing quite a bit. They signed him for the playoffs, I think.
Damian's sleeping on defense. He's getting a nap every time down.
Yeah, again, all that sounds good, and I've walked into a lot of playoff series looking at Portland that way.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with Portland is it's going to be back and forth.
It is. Yeah.
And I can already picture them not just not stopping Jokic, but letting him eat in every way.
Yeah. I believe that. I think Jokic's numbers will be insane.
And my problem is Denver's lesser supporting cast is going to be playing more to their strengths than what Portland's supporting cast is going to be doing.
Problem with Portland's supporting cast, a lot of them just don't have strengths, which is like, I don't know what Covington's strength is anymore. He doesn't hit threes. He misses free throws. Like, I've never seen someone who's supposed to be a shooter miss so many free throws.
Yeah.
He doesn't play that great of defense. I don't know what Derrick Jones' strength is anymore.
He doesn't even play anymore.
Right. I have no idea what his strength is. I don't know. Like, sometimes we get a Nasir Little sighting. Sometimes we don't.
But again, just watching Portland for countless years, I can already picture like Lillard is eating, but Denver is matching them point for point with fucking like Campazzo out there. And that's my problem. And this is like 2-3 years in a row with Portland.
If that happens in the first game, they're done. I'll say them in 5. Nuggets in 5. If again, I just think I go ahead. If Campazzo has a plus in his plus and minus, Portland's out in 5 games easily. They need to expose Campazzo every time he comes in the game. But if they don't, and Campazzo, like I said, if they go on a run with Campazzo in the game, Portland should just pack it up. They should go ahead and fire Stotts immediately. And I know I talk trash about Campazzo a lot, and I don't mean it like he's not trash. I call him trash, but he's not trash. But the thing is, he shouldn't dictate the game against Portland. That's all I'm saying. In any way.
Portland is the type to allow him to do shit like that just because they're like ignoring him.
I agree, but all I'm saying is they can't do it this time. And if they do, it's over. They are the type to do it, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't let guys like that get off or have good games, but they do. It's over. Go home. The worst thing that could happen is them blowing the team up and keeping Terry Stotts. That would be a complete disaster.
That would hurt my brain.
It might. The only blow team up is trade Nurkic for any big man who wants to play in Portland. Anybody. At this point, I'd take JaVale McGee over Nurkic easily.
I just want to see Portland control a game. And it's like they're incapable of doing that.
Yeah, they're not doing that. You're right. They're not doing that.
That's all Jokic does is control the game.
Yeah.
And if they can't keep it up and down, which I think Denver's going to make a concerted effort not to let happen, I can already picture all types of 3-pointers. We're driving, we're wide open, we're kicking it out for 3-pointers. Nurkic is taking whatever he wants.
Yeah,
Lillard and McCollum are like allergic to making plays for one another.
If Nurkic takes whatever he wants, it's over there. If Nurkic is in charge of his own shot selection, it's curtains. They're not good.
I think next time we come back, there'll be a game or two into the series.
And the first game is in Denver?
I think so.
They have to win one of those, obviously. But
I want to talk about this series first next time we come back.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's keep going. What's the... Oh, the other ones are the play-in ones. Okay. So let's go to the East. Knicks, Hawks.
7 games. I'm not predicting this.
I'll go 7 games. I'll go 6 games. Hawks in 6.
The Knicks fan? No.
Yeah, Hawks in 6.
No, come on.
Hawks in 6. I like the Hawks, man.
That hurts.
This series sucks because I don't want either of these teams to lose in the first round at all.
I completely agree with that.
And the Knicks are really good, obviously. They're playing really well. They play with high energy. But the Hawks are just I think they just have too much firepower at the end of the day. I think Knicks will blow them out 1 game, maybe 2 games. But I think the close games, I think the Hawks would win.
And you think the Knicks will get 2 blowouts and you still think Hawks in 6?
Yeah. I think that's how the Hawks lose. They lose by blowouts. And the Knicks, I think if they'll catch a wave, catch a momentum, and the Hawks will just be like, oh, this game's over. We're down 25, third quarter.
I'll tell you right now, nobody in the league capitalizes on the other team playing like trash more than the Knicks. And that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hawks are a perfect example of high highs, low lows.
So are you taking the Knicks or not?
And the fact that I'll take the Knicks just because of your disrespect, because you already admitted what I was going to say, which is the Hawks are going to throw away 2 games because they're going to be all over the place. It's going to be a mess. Guys are going to just be playing. Bogdanovich is going to have like a 1 for 14 game.
And Trey's going to have like a 5 for 22 game.
Yes. Yeah. While the matchup is eating.
Well, Rose is destroying Trey every time down.
Exactly. And
yeah,
my thing is the Knicks defend infinitely better than the Hawks.
Yeah.
They position-wise, they match up with them fairly well.
Okay.
My favorite part about this series is who's going to be more impactful between Randall and Collins.
Right.
Because like Randall's going to be getting the ball more, and like the Knicks are going to be playing through him more.
Randall can guard Collins better than Collins can guard him for sure.
And that's where I'm leaning with the Knicks.
But it's going to take more than Randall to win the game, though.
Derrick Rose, we good. That's all it's taken all year.
Derrick Rose can't play 7 games in the series in the playoffs.
Derrick Rose is gonna be the best guard in this series.
He's not gonna make it 7 games. No way.
Come on. The Knicks have played it really disciplined defense all year, and the Hawks are gonna struggle with that. I already see it.
Hawks in 6, man. I gotta go with it. Maybe
This will be the second series we talk about.
Maybe I'm just taking the failure so I can be happy about the win, because I don't want to ride the horse.
I like that. I'll take that.
Kicked off the horse, but for some reason I just don't think they'll be able to outscore the Hawks.
I know.
Even if the Hawks are playing okay.
The first thing I look at the Knicks and I'm like, where are the points coming from?
Right. But I tell you what, though,
that's why I love Thibodeau. The answer is so simple: Derrick Rose and Julius Randle. That's it.
I tell you what, Trey's not getting any floaters on Nerlens Noel. You can forget about that. If there's one thing happening, is that. But
that's again, the Knicks are in good shape to not let Trae Young just go crazy every game. And I don't trust the Hawks with any of the other things they got going on.
If Tilakina sees any time on the floor, Trey is getting 30 easily. Trey's
no argument there. No argument there.
I don't think Elfrid Payton can guard Trey either, and Rose just can't play that many minutes. I wish Rose. Now, if we were talking about Rose fully healthy.
That's okay. No. We don't have to talk about Rose fully healthy. He's perfectly fine where he's at.
Who's Reggie Bullock guarding?
Bogdanovich. What you mean?
Is Gallinari back?
Yeah, that's okay. We're not worried about who's worried about Gallinari.
Hawks in 6.
Dude, all that depth you talking about, I haven't seen it like be meaningful.
You know Lou Williams is there, right?
I'm not
Who's
sure
winning
about that.
Who's winning the 6-man battle? Lou or Derrick Rose?
Again, Lou, I'll give Lou credit. He could win it. But
Yeah.
from the season I just watched,
I'm with you. Derrick
Derrick
Rose,
Rose
yeah.
is gonna dog him. I already said Derrick Rose is gonna be the best point guard or the best guard in this series.
If Donovan didn't get hurt and like Clarkson didn't have to play amazing, D Rose would be in the 6-man of the year candidate.
Just off his last like month and a half.
Yeah. I mean, but Clarkson's been averaging like 25 since Donovan got hurt. But all right, you say Knicks in 6? Knicks in 7? Okay, I say Hawks in 6. All right. Last one is the Heat and the Bucks.
Milwaukee, this better not go more than like 6-7 games.
Yeah,
this needs to be quick.
It better not go past. I mean, it better not get to 7 games. It has to be 6.
Miami should not take more than one fucking game.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not even, I've criticized the Bucks for being doing the same shit, but they like for the first time they look complete to me.
I agree. I mean, their depth is amazing this year. It's amazing.
Yes, any roster issues they had, they're gone.
Yep.
Any chemistry issues they had are gone.
Yep.
Any like fundamental flaws on either end, gone. There's no excuse. Jimmy Butler should not walk onto the court and be the best player for 5-6 games.
I don't care if he is. If he's the best player,
and even if he is, still should win. Exactly.
Yeah.
Again, Milwaukee is complete. I think they need to take care of this. And if they let Miami, this will be probably the most important game 1-2.
Yeah.
Because if they don't crush Miami to start with, it's going to be a battle. We know how Miami goes. As soon as they get confident, they're like significantly better at every player.
Yeah. They even have guys that I've never heard of until this year come in and
they still, buckets. Bro. How many people would have given up on Kendrick Nunn, including me and you, after the last season?
Everybody. I mean, he was terrible.
And they are still like getting production from him. Meaningful production too.
That dude, Max Strus.
Yeah.
I mean, he came in and was lighting people up, dude. Like, he looked amazing for like 3 games. Then he never played again. With those 3 games, he was dunking on people. He was hitting threes, all kinds of range. I mean, they have these random guys that they throw in and play well, but it shouldn't.
They got Ariza has come in and like looked not washed for them.
Yeah, but Ariza's a loser. I'm not worried about Ariza. I'm not worried about him.
Miami hides losers very well.
Iguodala, it's over, man. Hang it up, please. Please stop playing. This has to be his last season because he looks terrible, dude. The last game, the game that Haslam got thrown out of Philadelphia. Really? Yeah. Iguodala had 3 straight turnovers in like 45 seconds of the game. And they weren't like turnovers like getting stripped. He was just throwing the ball straight out of bounds 3 times. And then an air ball. He looked like J.Cole. It was terrible.
Come on. Why'd you have to throw a shot?
Because that's what J.Cole looked like, Iguodala. It was so bad, dude. Like, I don't know why Spoelstra keeps putting him in the game. He doesn't play that great of defense.
I asked that about so many players in Miami. And then all of a sudden they're doing what I guess Spoelstra thought they would, which I couldn't even imagine.
Oladipo played 9 games for them? Doesn't seem like it. Seemed like it was only like a half.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I that sucks, by the way, man. I hope he gets like a healthy chance, a healthy year to like recover.
It's gonna be tough, man, because his game is athleticism. That's 90% of his game. Well, so you got Bucks in 5?
Bucks in 5. And if we come back next week and Jimmy Butler like closed game 1, I'm gonna be furious.
I am too.
Fury again, like it just happened last year. If Miami beats them like in the similar style that they did last year, I'm questioning the coaching going on in Milwaukee.
Who's guarding Jimmy Butler though?
Greek Freak. Let's get it. What are you doing?
Who's guarding Bam? Bobby Portis?
Brook Lopez getting worked. Is that okay? Can we live with that?
Brook Lopez get destroyed. I mean, that was my only question when I was looking at it. Like when I first saw the matchup, is how are they gonna guard those two players? Because like those two positions are the most awkward for them. But they have PJ. I guess PJ can guard Jimmy. I'm not mad at that.
I'm okay. Like if Bam is spectacular and Butler together, at that point, I'm giving Miami credit because I haven't seen that all year. I didn't see that even in the playoffs last year, so that would just be a shock to me.
Right. Jimmy played better when Bam got hurt, and vice versa.
Yeah. The key for me, comparing it to last year, like Dragic cannot eat. That can't. If like Drew Holiday is there to shut that shit down. We can't be letting like Dragic just bullying his way and creating kickouts for the scrubs.
Right.
And that's how you get Tyler Herro putting up, efficient 20, 25 points.
Right. I like DiVincenzo versus Herro. I like that matchup. Not as far as like them being equals, but I like Dante is a competitor. He plays hard against everybody. I would like to see him play hard against Tyler Herro. This would be like his moment to see if he's actually like a decent defender, in my opinion. Hero's gonna embarrass him at least once, but he could get the better of him for the night. Okay, I'll take the Bucks. I'll take the Bucks in 5. I was hoping they'd sweep, but they probably won't. They'll probably rest one game.
No, Miami's good enough to, like, Miami's confident enough to take a game, proud enough, I think, to take a game. But again, you don't get to take the whole year off and then just come in and close the deal every night. Like, it's not that easy. It better not be that easy.
Right. All right. Do we have any other?
You want to make a finals pick right now, since it's we're going into the playoffs?
No, I don't want to make a finals pick. I got to see the plans first. I think I don't want to make a finals pick before I see the plans.
But you think, other than the Lakers, none of the play-in teams are a threat to go to the finals.
But I don't know. I don't know about that.
Hell no.
If I was gonna pick in the West, this goes against everything I stand for. But I'd go Clippers, and then in the East, I'll go Brooklyn, Clippers, and Nets. I'll say that.
I'm sticking with the Lakers, obviously. And to me, the best team in the East by far has been Philadelphia. I don't think it's been close.
It hasn't.
And they're just built to respond and match up with every team in every way, like playing however they need to play. So Philly, LA, I think, in the finals.
I think they're gonna have a hard time outscoring Brooklyn, because that will be what it comes down to. I think they're gonna have a hard time outscoring them. Not because they're not good enough, but Brooklyn's just gonna score a lot of points.
I'm excited to watch Brooklyn, man. I really am.
Me too.
Success or fail, I can't wait to see what that looks like.
I really wish they fell to the 3rd seed, so we could see them against someone that can beat them, possibly.
DC. I can't wait till we're talking about that matchup next week.
Like I told you off air, Russ is gonna go crazy, and it's gonna be an issue in a negative way. I've never seen Russ attack a team and win in the playoffs. Like him have
I've
animosity.
never seen him beat a team in the playoffs, like just him.
Right. So it is gonna have to be mostly him because Beal will get you 40, but everyone on the Nets can get 40.
I'm rooting for you, DC. I see a way. I just don't know how it's gonna go.
DC better win the first 2 games, man. I mean, they're better in their first game.
Oh, you're talking about the play-in?
Yeah. All right, let's get to it, man. Starting at guard from Fayetteville, North Carolina. From St. John's, 6'3", maybe 6'4". 6'4". Jermaine Cole.
He looks under 6 feet, honestly.
He does, but he says he's 6'3". I mean, he didn't jump that high to dunk when he was dunking. So I'll give him 6'3", 6'4". He's a nice wingspan. But we have Jermaine Cole starting for the Rwandan Patriots. No, he's not starting. I'm just kidding. He's not starting. He had his African Basketball League debut. We're not going to get into that, though, but you can look up the highlights on YouTube.
Oh, man.
He had a technical free throw and a tap in. Nice tap in. Body was a little shaky. He was rusty. It's all good.
First pro game. I'm going to give him 2 more games before I say what I already told you about what he looked like. Yeah. But I'm not judging anybody's game by one performance.
I saw 4 turnovers and an air ball watching the game. That's just the second half. I didn't watch the first half.
He managed to get 4 turnovers in there.
Yeah. Good thing they don't.
Maybe one other game.
Good thing they don't track the turnovers in the league. I was watching them though. I watched them happen. So the layup he got, he looked like he got stripped. No one touched the ball all of that.
Oh my god!
He just went up, lost it, and then he kicked it out of bounds. That was one of the turnovers. But
yeah,
anyway,
that was fun. That was a good little slash. That was a good idea.
Anyway,
the off season.
The off season is here.
You surprised me by not saying what the proper first reaction to this was.
What's the proper
J. Cole's back.
Reaction?
Fuego.
He is.
He's
setting the hoops on fire.
This is seeing that it was called the off season, I had and I was very nervous about having expectations. As we know with J. Cole's latest history.
Yeah.
But seeing it called the off season, I'm like, all right, he's got to be bringing us back to the glory days, the mixtape, the warm up, Friday Night Lights, the come up. Like, he's bringing us back,
right?
And thankfully, that is exactly what he did. This is exactly in the same style as those mixtapes were. It's very like chill to me, where he's just rapping, like he's just showcasing how great of a rapper he is. I think the beats could have been better, but they were like strong enough to keep the album from getting repetitive.
Yeah.
And I think his hook performance was good all around. I think the feature choices was good all around. All the features fit the style of the album. And I'm gonna let you go because I really had no issue with this album. So whatever your problem was, I need to know.
You remember about 2 months ago, I sent you an article from Complex that said J. Cole was gonna address social issues and the life of a black man and the recent injustices on his forthcoming album. Remember that?
That I do remember. That didn't happen.
Where was that? It wasn't there at all. That's not my issue with it though. I'm cool with that. J. Cole he has shown his talent to be top three alive right now, in my opinion. This album, or this project, has shown. I mean, the rapping on here is ridiculous. Like, his rapping is crazy. But that's all it is to me, man. It's just rapping. Like, a lot of the songs are just him rapping until he runs out of breath on the track. There's not a lot of his song making was bad on this album, in my opinion. I think he took an L song making wise. But to your point, you said it has a mixtape feel. It definitely does. But because like there's only like 3 hooks on the album, and he only does 2 of them. I mean,
how much hooks did you expect?
It's 12 songs. I at least expect 6, 7 hooks. It was just a beat, him rapping, him talking trash, and then rapping, and then talking trash again, and the song's over. It's not even a lot of these didn't feel like songs to me. They just felt like a showcase of him spitting fire bars, and they were fire. I mean, let me stop, because I love J. Cole. I've always, always loved J. Cole. He's always been my favorite rapper. He was like, it was like how I felt about him was like a Kobe Jordan kind of thing. Like, if Drake is Jordan, when J. Cole was like first coming up, he was like the guy I would argue with people about. Like, nah, man, J. Cole, he could out rap Drake. Trust me. This was like,
Born Sinner had me thinking that too.
Yeah, this was Born Sinner time. And then Forest Hills Drive was, to me, I think as far as his rapping skill, I thought it was a little bit lower than the past 2 albums, but his song making was top tier. I mean, he sang on songs and they were hits, apparently. And Love Yours were songs that I didn't think he could make at the time. And then, For Your Eyes Only happened. KOD happened. And then this one, he's back rapping as good as he's ever rapped, I think. There's like 4 songs in here where like I would put these, as far as rapping skill, against any rapper's best skilled songs. I'd compare them. Like I'd compare some of these songs to like a Nas song, something like that. But J. Cole cannot find the balance of making a song and being a good rapper at this point, to me. Like, KOD, what was the song? The Money song? The Count It song, whatever?
Yeah, Count It Up.
Yeah, that song was fire. Good rapping, good song making, but nothing else on there had a mixture of either, to me. And this album has elite rapping, but the song making, no, I think the song making was really, really, really bad.
I don't know what you want from him. That's my thing, because
I just want him to make he used. Well, I shouldn't. I'm not going to compare him to his past, but I know J. Cole is capable of giving me a good song. That's all I'm saying. A good song. I can hear a good freestyle from anybody. He can freestyle better than anybody.
It's a fair criticism that this album doesn't have like hit songs.
The 21 Savage song is a great song. Great.
I think him and Lil Baby like almost pull enough fire out to like really make it a hit.
Yeah, I thought that was a hit too. Yeah. And I think pretty much with those 2 songs, he had the features. He had Boz and 6 Lack, and I couldn't really tell it was them, but I didn't like that song that much. But the Lil Baby song and the 21 song are fire for sure.
I mean, my 2 favorites were probably Amari and Hunger on Hillside.
Amari has become like I've heard a lot of people saying Amari is their favorite.
Yeah, Amari's like the kind of the one that's blown up the most from the initial response. And it is heat. But my problem is, you're kind of judging it like, it's almost like I know you could give me Born Sinner too, but like this isn't it. You know what I mean?
Any of the first 3 albums. This is not. How much better is this than KOD to you?
Huh? Night and day better. If this
so KOD is trash,
what would you give KOD out of 10?
A 4.
4, fair enough. I'll give this album 8. I'll
8?
double the score of that.
What are his first 3 albums?
The first one's a 8. Born Sinner's a 10. Forest Hills Drive is 9.
Okay, so you're saying this is as good as his first album?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
And my thing is, as an album, I would take his first album over this.
That's all I'm saying. This doesn't seem like an album to me. It just seemed like he had some fire verses and he just put them out.
But when he called it the off season, and when I saw that was the title, that's kind of what I assumed.
Yeah, I did too, and I thought it was gonna be like a series of EPs. Like when he put that like menu thing out, that timeline thing.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, he's gonna give us EPs like Any Given Sunday or Truly Yours, something like that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. But then he gives us 12 EP songs, and then it's an album.
But you're comparing it to his albums. That's, I think, the mistake. This is more.
But it's an album.
You know, everything is an album now. Mixtape, album, playlist—they're all albums now. Like,
but if he calls it an album, why isn't it an album?
Because he wants to like make the most off of it. You know, he wants it to be. Obviously, now, if he put out Friday Night Lights, that would be a fucking album now.
And it would be his best album.
But that's the thing, is this is it's not better than Friday Night Lights.
But Friday Night Lights. Oh, go ahead.
This can compete with the other mixtapes that he put out in the beginning of his career.
Yes, but Friday Night Lights was a mixtape and felt more like an album than this does.
Not by much. Friday Night Lights just had more like classics as far as songs.
They were complete songs. That's all. Trust me. I think all these songs are good. All this rapping is good. The music is good. The features were great. But it's not an album to me. I feel cheated that he put a mixtape out as an album. That's how I feel. And I'm not hating the album because I like it. I listened to it like 6 times. It gets better every time you listen to it, by the way. But yeah, man. I mean, if you look at Friday Night Lights, there's like 3 songs on there that don't have hooks, and now on this, there's like 7 that don't.
I'm pretty sure there's more on Friday Night Lights that don't have hooks.
Tell me which one. I mean,
dude,
trust me, I listen to that I listen to that every single day.
It's been a minute for me, I'll admit. Yeah. But I think this, again, it's not better than Friday Night Lights, but it competes with all the other mixtapes that I think are still very high level.
If this was a mixtape, it'd be his second best mixtape for sure. And behind Friday Night Lights.
That's all I wanted. I wanted him to step back and like every time he's gotten personal, like deeply personal on 2 albums. Mm-hmm. And they're the 2 most boring albums I've heard from him. I'm just like,
yours may be the most boring rap album I've ever heard.
And I know it's hating, but to me,
I mean, For Your Eyes Only. Sorry,
I'm happy that he took a step back and just got back to what like he used to do.
I agree. I am too. I'm really happy. I'm glad he's rapping with the chip on his shoulder, some passion for once.
Yes, and where I do agree with you that it's more of like an industry thing, where if you're gonna make us wait in anticipation, like you haven't put out a project and you've teased us all this time. Mm-hmm. We're not. No, you shouldn't be putting out a mixtape doing that.
Yes,
like this could have been if he dropped this like the first 3 months of the pandemic.
Yes,
I mean, this would have been insane.
And if and just said, "Yo, new mixtape, J.Cole," it would go crazy. And you can put mixtapes on Spotify and on Apple. People do it all the time. But don't.
And my problem is now
shortchange me.
But the problem is everything is released and pushed like an album now. Nothing like, there's a few artists that are exceptions to that. But a lot of artists do this now, where it's, even if it's like a collection of tracks, they're pushing it as like a 2-year project in the making.
But we trash on them on all the other ones except for J. Cole's. That's all I'm saying. I'm trashing J. Cole's too. If someone else does it, I'm trashing them. And if J. Cole does it, he's getting trashed too. And even though I love J. Cole, but
again, the only pass I give is that it's a mixtape. I understand the criticism, but it's a fire mixtape.
This is the best rapping I've heard probably
since Forest Hills Drive, no question.
No, I mean from anybody. It's the best rapping I've heard from anybody in a long time. I mean, I'd probably say Funeral.
Last time.
I'd probably say Funeral is above that. But other than Funeral, I can't remember when I've heard better rapping on a project than this. Just top to bottom, just
maybe Benny, but
yeah, and the other thing is, and this really isn't a criticism. It's I only criticize when people don't have enough versatile subject matter. But
that I completely agree with you on.
Yeah, J. Cole to me, he kind of was doing the same thing. Shots flying. He says shots flying, I think, on every single song. Something about gunshots flying, somebody dying.
Yeah.
But it's not like a remorseful thing like it was for Your Eyes Only. It's like a, I'm killing everybody this time thing. And then, it gets, and that's another reason why I knew it didn't feel like an album, because I didn't feel any like range of emotions in this album. It was just like one note of me, of the same kind of thing.
Again, that's what, other than Friday Night Lights, which is the only exception for him as far as blending like his album sound and mixtape sound.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other mixtapes were very similar to this, where it was a little like almost bare bones kind of.
Yes, I agree with you, but you're comparing the album to mixtapes. No other album did that.
Again, that's because the industry, every mixtape I'm talking about, if it came out now, would have been released exactly like this album or this mixtape.
But he would have called it a mixtape. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think he would have.
You don't think he'd call the warm up a mixtape if he let it out? He wouldn't say, "Yo, this is my new album." I doubt it.
He definitely would have put Friday Night Lights to an album, no question.
Friday Night Lights felt like an album. It definitely did. And it had cohesion to
it. You're right.
That's the only thing. That's my only criticism. Listen, the rapping is amazing. J. Cole is the man. He's back on top of the game. He came out first, by the way, this year, before Kendrick, before Drake, before Rihanna, before all these people that were expecting music from. He came out first and he knocked it out the park. So
he set the bar very high.
I think Kendrick will have the best album of the three of them this year. That's my prediction. Now that I've heard J. Cole's, because it would have been between J. Cole and Kendrick. I think Kendrick will come better than this.
You had a lot more faith in J. Cole than I did. If that was the topic, I would have definitely picked J. Cole third.
Well, I heard all the hype of what J. Cole was going to be talking about. I'm like, oh, he's going to be in his bag. And he didn't do that. So
the social justice stuff, I don't know what that would have looked like. But the personal shit, dude, I don't know anybody who gets into like their own life more and makes it as boring as J. Cole does.
Drake gets into his life and like the worst parts of his life, and it sounds exciting. It's still I still want it. Like he talks about nearly suicidal things, and I still want to live that life. And
what's Drake is a different animal because he starts going in a new genre. The more depressing it is, the more he like blends R&B into it.
Right.
And Cole is a little bit different to me, where again, KOD and For Your Eyes Only, it's like you just like didn't really want to make an exciting or like an entertaining song in any way.
Right.
You just wanted to talk about this.
Yeah.
And that just to me was boring. I'm sorry.
I agree. And it's kind of crazy he made KOD and he let Lil Baby come on there talking about being addicted to promethazine. Like that's kind of wild. I was like, wow, he's just gonna let Lil Baby get that off after he spent 3 years making an album about kids being on drugs.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't listen to it enough to have a favorite verse, but
yeah, I'm only 3 listens in. I mean, I'm gonna be listening to it more over the next several weeks.
I want to say, and what'd you say your favorite song was? Amari and the last track?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hunger for Hillside, I think, or on Hillside. Yeah, on Hillside.
I think I liked Applying Pressure. And even though the Climb Back came out as a single, that's still probably my second favorite. Applying Pressure was hard though. That was
I'm
tough.
happy. You know, I'm really happy this wasn't only J. Cole, by the way.
I thought it. I mean, when it first came out, it didn't have features on it, and at least what I had.
Yeah, I don't know, because his rapping is so good, so I can't really say if it would have been like worse without features. But I think some of what made him boring the last 2 albums is not having anybody else with him.
Yeah,
especially how many countless like features has he just annihilated?
I think he's better with features. I haven't heard him with features and not liked it.
He might be he's in the conversation for probably best feature rapper of all time.
He's in the conversation, yeah. Except for
Planes. It's a long
that
conversation, but
I never want to hear him and Jeremiah again. Never.
Even on Jeremiah's album. All right? Everybody gets a couple misses. All right? Nobody can shoot 100%.
Right. He I don't know why. I don't know what like the satisfaction he gets out of not having other artists on the album. I really don't know. I think he wants to see what he can do against them without them. Maybe.
Well, if it's a competitive thing, then I that's cool. I like that. But if it's just like a weird, like kind of like just being antisocial, not really willing to work with other people.
Yeah.
I think he's missing out, man. I think he could have put maybe 3 or 4 more songs on here with features, with like features you really like would enjoy hearing him with. And it would have made it, again, I think it would have given it a little bit more versatility.
He had a lot of experimenting with flows on here. And I would have really liked to hear him and DaBaby, like him trying to do DaBaby's flow.
Yeah.
And whether DaBaby was doing a regular flow or not, but him keeping up with DaBaby flow wise on a song.
Like they matched each other. They matched each other well on what was it, Under the Sun, the one big single from Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
Yeah.
That was good, man. And North Carolina, like, come on.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I thought it would be fire.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Another missed opportunity with female artists, by the way.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like the hook issue you had and just the songs kind of not being, structured as well.
Yeah.
3 to 5 female features would have fixed that completely.
I would have been cool with 2. I mean, I would have been straight. And on the ones that he wasn't like, bodying them, like applying pressure or something like that. But yeah, he could have had 2 on here. It would have been fine. It would have been tough. He could have had a nice, or like someone who can kind of do both. Like, oh man, the one from North Carolina. What's her name? I feel bad. I can't remember her name. He had a song with her last year. But man, he could have had someone who could do the hook and have a verse. That's all I'm saying. Even a light hook and a real rap verse.
Off the top of my LMA would have been fire.
Oh yeah.
Hell, Queen Naija would have been fire.
Yeah.
Just off the obviously like Kehlani, anybody like that, fire.
Yeah. Yep. Her. would have been fire.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep. All right. You want to talk about Nicki?
Honestly, I don't really have much to say about it, man. I do think it's a very good project to re-release to get people hyped about her.
I agree.
It really showcases, like, she emerged as a top tier rapper, and deservingly so.
Mm-hmm.
And where she, like, I kind of forgot about that, because she was very oversaturated at one point, just putting out a lot of like random radio music.
Mm-hmm.
And she had a lot of like big singles that to me were just awful.
Yep. I agree.
But her early days, man, like Pink Print, and just some of her early work where she's just rapping,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like locked in on that.
Yeah.
She's elite.
Yeah, because
the current female artists are no match for the versatility she had.
I know. Yeah. And I mean, she could rap like a dude back then,
Yes.
and not to be sexist or anything, but the way she flowed and how hard she went was just something that women weren't doing at that time. And bringing that back, you see how many people are birthed from her, like we
Yes.
talk about Young Thug. Like you can see that a lot of these female artists, Doja Cat, man, I can't
A lot of them, man. Saweetie,
Meg.
Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, all of them.
Yeah.
They're taking elements. That this is again how insane her versatility was. All these artists have taken like slight aspects of her style.
Yeah. Yeah.
And obviously they've made it their own in different ways, but like again, Nicki could pull off what all these artists are doing at certain points.
Yeah, and the other thing that was so different was Nicki being in a crew with like other men was interesting. Like obviously Lil' Kim did that in the 90s, but we hadn't really seen, Eve kinda, but like the way that they were pushing her, like the way Lil Wayne having a verse on her record pushed her verse to be better, like you could hear it.
Yeah.
And that was an oddity for that era too. Like it was, women had done it before, but it was a long gap in between them. Like Eve had been acting by the time Nicki was rapping. Like so it wasn't like it was a lot of competition for her, but it was just interesting.
And Nicki had the most deserving what's the word? I don't know why I'm missing. I had it earlier, but the most impactful coming out verse with Monster.
Oh yeah.
Where you come in, and these are a bunch of artists who like are dominating the genre.
Mm-hmm.
And you come in and you outperform all of them.
Yeah. It probably is the most impactful female verse ever.
Right. Right. And that to me, I mean, that's something I can't even picture. The female, especially the female rappers now, I can't even picture them pulling something like that off.
Oh no.
Not even close.
I will say for me, Cardi on the G-Eazy song, I think it was.
Oh,
it was like it was a minor version of that, because she was like, people heard about her. Oh yeah, she makes that song, that Kodak song. Like she didn't have the recognition until she came out with that, and like, oh, she can like really rap. Like it sounded like she was playing around kind of before that, and like that's when her music came to like, oh, she means business. She's like rapping. So
Cardi B, she has a very similar like intent, like Nicki did, to outperform everybody.
Yeah.
That's one thing I really like about her.
And that's a tough thing, in our society. Obviously, women have to, at least they feel like they have to prove themselves in the avenues like this, obviously, because it's obviously a male dominated culture, and they did it. I mean, they did it big time. Yep. what else do we have? Anything talking about?
Music wise, we mentioned, I don't really have any in-depth thoughts, but T Grizzly's album was really strong.
It was really, really, really good.
And this was an album, again, I'd only liked one other album from him, Activated, which was from like 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
But this was like, now that I'm hearing a second album where he's giving me like different kind of style, different variations of his sound.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
Yeah, man. And his albums for me have always been kind of slow burns.
Yes.
Like I would have to listen to it maybe twice or get towards the end before I really felt it. This, he came right out the gates. First 3 tracks were like, he was spitting, like killing it. And I was in it. Yeah. I was feeling it.
He found a great mix of like that. Like he does the thing a lot where he like cuts the beat out and just keeps going.
Yeah.
And he often does it like too much.
Mm-hmm.
But this album, he finds a really good mix of that.
Yeah, he does. He does. He puts his
really
punchlines together nicely. He just, it looked like someone who
it felt like an album.
It felt like an album, and the progression of him, like middle school, you took art classes, right?
Yeah.
So like your art in 3rd grade looked one way, 4th grade looked one way, and then maybe you didn't take art one year or you guys didn't do as many projects, but then the 8th grade one, like when you showed that one, they're like, wow, like you've been working on your art? Not really, but this is just, I'm just different now. Like you're just better as a person. So like this seems like that upper grade level of art for him to me.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Wrath of Man.
Right, movies.
Yeah. You want to start there? I watched a ton of
I haven't seen Saw.
I didn't watch that yet. I watched
what other movies have you seen?
Those Who Wish Me Dead. And I also watched Woman in the Window.
The Amy Adams?
Yeah. It's on Netflix.
Oh, dude. Oh, that came in Netflix?
Yeah.
Dude.
It was good. You didn't think it would be good? Yeah, it was good.
I still don't think it's good. I don't trust you.
I enjoyed it, man. It was great.
Okay.
Great twist. You know, it was very Hitchcockian. They used a lot of they used a lot of like exit stage right things. They played with the lighting a lot, like the lights would go out and then it's a new scene. So they did kind of play around that. It was very artsy.
Okay, I'll check it out.
It was good, man. Amy Adams is a really good actress. I mean,
no doubt.
Great actress.
She's top tier. Top tier.
Gary Oldman is good. Julianne Moore is good. I mean, it was good actors in there. So, yeah.
But the big movie that we both watched, it's funny. It was being promoted, but now that it's out, it's being promoted a lot more, I feel like.
And they definitely sneak the actors in there. Like I did not know some of the actors in there were in there.
It's packed.
I don't know all their names, but I'm pretty sure I know Eastwood
off the top of my head. Yeah,
Eastwood. Obviously, I had no idea he was in there.
But let's talk about it. Let's start there. Matter of fact, the cast is impressive in a meaningful way.
Okay, explain.
Like there's not. None of the roles feel like, forced.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Andy Garcia doesn't get a ton of screen time, but you kind of feel the impact of his role.
Yep.
I don't really want to spoil anything because there's not too much to spoil.
The actors aren't spoiling it to me because it's not any like huge reveals.
Yeah, and I just think the cast all has. Even the guys who aren't in the movie a ton has a meaningful impact every time they're on screen.
Yes. Yep.
And it works. It works for a movie that's, on the surface so basic.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. If you're an action guy, don't even watch the rest of this review. Go see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Go see it. It's awesome. This movie is exactly what action movies are supposed to be.
Yep.
And again, it's just the premise of it is so basic. Like, we've seen kind of movies in this style before, but Guy Ritchie just shows how top tier he is.
One thing that is amazing about him, he has not let the times change him.
Yes,
he's still great at the camera 360 pan.
Yes.
Like it's on the main character and then it shows you like the surroundings of the main character. He does it like 5 times in the movie, and he does it in every movie he does. And it's amazing every time. It's perfect. It makes you feel like you're there for sure.
Guy Ritchie, man, like his movies, and this isn't like I don't know how best to describe it other than like his movies feel cracked a lot of the time. Like they're just going so fast.
Yeah. Because it started out like we're here already. Like
right. And this movie actually, looking back on a lot of his projects, this movie's a little bit like he slows it down, he reserves, and he lets the story develop a little bit more, especially in the second act.
And more emotions develop than a lot of his other ones. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, this movie is going like it opens up the story in interesting way after interesting way. Like it keeps you keep unlocking new details as the movie's progressing, and the story opens up in such a like it's good enough to follow along, but it's not like predictable.
Yeah.
He just nails it, man. He honestly, he nails everything that needed to be good in this movie. He made it good.
Yep. He did great, man. He did a really good job with it.
Man, I mean, Scott Eastwood, this is probably the best action performance I've seen from him.
Yeah.
Most memorable one, at least. I mean, he's always like forgettable in every other movie.
Yeah. I agree. I don't have anything else to add. I mean, your point about unlocking the new details, that is spot on for sure. Yeah. That's exactly what happens. And it's done a very every time I felt like was just enough. Like every time they did it, because it went back and forth. So every time they did it, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Next time they did it, oh, right. Got it. Next time they did it, oh, okay. Now I'm here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
It tells you why what you're seeing happened, but in like a backwards way almost. So like it connects. Yeah. It was just really, really, really good, man.
It's just crazy how good of a balance he finds between progressing the story and kind of like keeping you engaged in what's going on. And that's something I think in some of his lesser movies, like King Arthur or Man from U.N.C.L.E., like the pace was kind of a struggle.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. was garbage.
Yeah, no argument there. But
garbage. Yeah.
Like again, Man from U.N.C.L.E. draws you in, and then he kind of gets stuck. Like the story, he can't really move the story fast enough for it to be interesting.
Yeah.
And this movie, it never even comes close to anything like that.
Right.
I mean, this movie just nails everything.
Yeah. And it didn't force, there was no forced domination by Statham either. Yes. Like I've seen him, a lot of the movies where he has one particular star, sometimes I feel like they're dominating the screen, like King Arthur. But I didn't feel that way at all about Statham. I mean,
yeah,
it was just enough, and it had just enough predictability for me.
Yeah,
just enough.
I think the inside man like twist, I guess, is pretty predictable. Like, if you've seen heist movies before, you can kind of see it coming.
Yeah,
especially knowing the actors as well as I do. Like that, the actor is often the villain. So I kind of saw it coming, even though they kind of try to lean you away from him. And Josh Hartnett, by the way, was a shock that he was in this movie. Like, where has he been all these years?
Yeah, haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, it's just like this, such a strange role to find him in.
Yeah.
But again, this movie is tense, like literally start to finish.
Yep, it is. It's very it's tense, it's uncomfortable in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it moves like it's slow, but you feel like how it's progressing, and you just know kind of like that it's gonna be uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
In the final action sequence in this movie, again, this movie slows it down, and you walk into the final act of this movie, and Statham is just a part of it. Like it's not really centered around him.
Yeah, that was very interesting, and that's
yes
what made me say the point about him not dominating it, because like a lot of it really wasn't even, had to do a lot about him, especially the action parts. He didn't do as much action in here as he could have.
No, yeah.
But if you're expecting like a transporter kind of action, this ain't it.
You know what I would compare this movie to? Like a Heat or like a Den of Thieves, which is kind of a copy, but it's that kind of crime movie that's very just tense with the storyline.
Yeah.
But the action because of that is just so much more impactful.
Yeah. What was that? 999 even. Something like that too. Yep. Like I said, I saw Those Who Wish Me Dead. I wouldn't recommend it. Angelina looks great, but anybody could have played the role, man. She really didn't do anything.
This plot,
just a quick check.
This plot just does not. Who wrote this and thought like, yeah, people would be excited for this?
Nicholas Hoult. I don't know why he was in there. Anybody could have did that.
Littlefinger playing the same shit as he always does.
Yeah, John Bernthal.
Yeah, he's like typecast almost in a lot of the smaller roles.
Yeah, he wasn't here too. Yep. That's really all the stars though. That's everybody. That's all the stars that are in there.
We got a lot of movies incoming, to be honest.
I'm gonna watch Chaos Walking before next podcast.
Okay. Are you just you watching it on the link, or is it on anything?
I got the link to that, but I might go. I might see that in theaters maybe.
If it's still there, I don't even think I saw it in the list of movies when I was going to see Wrath of Man.
Oh, okay. Well,
but I don't know. I didn't really check thoroughly.
I'm gonna watch it somehow for next week, and I'm excited for the actors. The plot for me, I'm not really feeling. I'm not a big sci-fi guy when it comes to like experimental sci-fi. For like, not really my style. But obviously the actors in here are, top of the charts for them.
I went to see Wrath of Man and Saw. I'm gonna hold off on because there's a ton of movies coming and like theaters are kind of getting back going. So I want to go. Like I'm not missing Godzilla versus Kong in theaters or ever again.
Right.
And Saw is just a movie I'm not pressed to see it in theaters.
Yeah, this Spiral, right? Yeah,
right.
Chris Rock.
But I'm excited. I've been kind of avoiding reading any reactions or anything to it, but I'm gonna watch it at some point. But it's just not gonna be anytime soon, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really capture my interest as much as I initially thought maybe it would.
What's the next in the theater? Like, what's the next big box office?
Quiet Place 2 comes out at the end of the month.
Okay.
I'm ready for that. I mean, June, we're getting into Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah. That's shutting it down right there.
Oh, yeah. Black Widow's coming, I think, July.
Yeah. Got to be there.
We got stuff coming. I mean, there's still stuff coming, to HBO Max. That's what's crazy is now everything is opening up. Like movies that have been on hold are about to just randomly start getting, thrown out.
Yeah.
Like the Chaos Walkings, we're going to miss movies like that just because so much stuff is going to be coming out.
Yep. Yep. You have any desire to see Cherry? The Tom Holland movie?
No.
Me either. If anyone sees it, tell me about it. I'm not going to watch it. It looks too long. Like it just looks, it's one of those movies that the trailer makes the movie look like it's going to be too long. So I'm cool. I I don't like drama at all, really. Anything else we have? I don't think there's anything else. You?
I think that's it. I think we got everything. Can't wait for these playoffs, man. We're gonna be deep diving the playoffs. As far as our subject matter, the next like month or two, it's gonna be heavy basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we may need to deliver more than once a week for the playoffs, but
especially the first couple rounds.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Gonna be fun to watch. This week is gonna be fun too. Intense. I like it. All right. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, follow us, share us. Instagram, No Clue Podcast, everything. And we'll see you guys next time.